word tracks are on the word tracks I'm going to use are on the pages previous. But here's how it works. This is the single most effective payment justification strategy in the
On a purchase.
on a purchase in the history of the automobile business. And I can't find anybody in the automobile business who's ever heard of it until Frank. You're literally the first guy.
You taught me that.
Oh, I taught that to you, okay.
Last session.
You're brilliant, Frank. You're brilliant. Well, I teach it because it's highly effective, but very few people ever practically apply it. It's not that complicated. The math is really easy. It's the storytelling part that takes some work. Chris, I know what you don't want to do. And this is what I literally would draw a check. I said, I know you don't want to write a check for $500 a month, but it is the right vehicle, right? And the price was right. I'd throw in a lot of the stuff that Justin's already talked about. And what I'm going to say next is absolutely crazy. But even though you're going to write a check for $500 and you're going to do it 72 times, you're not going to pay $500 a month to drive this vehicle. Now that sounds like a riddle, doesn't it? Okay? But it's not a riddle. It's actual money that's not going to be coming out of your pocket. Look, you've made a really smart choice here. You're buying a pre-owned vehicle. The biggest part of the depreciation's already taken place. Of course, I have to say that tongue-in-cheek these days.
It's gone up.
So, yeah.
Now, I know you're paying more than the sticker was 3 years ago, but it's got 30,000 miles on it.
I might leave that part out. But Chris, once you make that last payment of $500 a month, and by the way, once you make 2 or 3 of them, you'll be used to it. Once you make that last payment, what comes back to you in the mail a couple weeks later?
Title.
The title. Okay, it's a special title because there's only one name on it, Chris. That's your name. Okay, it's called Free and Clear. Now the question I've got for you is if you drive this vehicle like you intend to, whether it's 10, 15, 20,000 miles a year, whatever you intend on doing, what do you think this $25,000 vehicle, which has already taken a big depreciation hit, all right, what do you think it will be worth 6 years from now?
$8,000.
$8,000. You have a telephone on you?
Mm-hmm.
Would you pull it out and open up the calculator?
Sure.
Divide $8,000 by 72.
All right, 111, 11, 111.
1111?
$111.
Chris, do you know what that $111 represents?
The value of my vehicle.
It's the cash value build that's occurring every time you make a monthly payment. Look, you're sending $500 to the lender. I get that, and I know you don't want to. But remember this, on the way to the lender, 111 of it is, hypothetically speaking, going right back to your title. So what you're going to pay to drive this vehicle is not $500 a month. It is $389. Okay? I need your okay right down there by the $500 a month.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, I learned this from a motorcycle salesman about 6 years ago. Okay, I'd never seen it done this way before. But by the way, is the math correct?
Yeah, totally.
Look, the vehicle doesn't go to zero once you pay it off, unless you really trash it.
Then you get the insurance.
Frank, you're way ahead of me. Okay.
This leads us
It's storytelling. The math is easy. How long, not how long do you plan on keeping it, how long do you plan on paying for it? And then the only time this gets a little messy is when a customer says, well, I don't normally keep my cars for 3 years. And then my question is, why are you financing it for 6 then?
lease a car.
But well, all I do is say, hey, Chris, at the end of the term, what comes back in the mail? By the way, a lot of people will not know what comes back in the mail once they make the last payment. Why?
They've never seen it.
They've never seen it. All right? All right, so you may have to help them there. I had one guy go, tax refund? I went, good God, no. Tax refund? Stimulus. Right. So 72 months is the term. And how do you determine what the vehicle is going to be worth at the end of the finance term?
You asked them.
I used to use a residual book. That was way too complicated. Then I learned the simple way and said, what do you think the car's worth? Number one, you think the customer might be a little high from time to time?
Yeah.
They're almost always high as opposed to low. So in fact, sometimes I have to back them down a bit. So whatever they say the vehicle will be worth at the end of the term, what do you divide that by? The term of the loan. And what does that represent?
Equity.
Remember, they don't understand that term. It
Money in the
represents
pocket.
represents the cash value built in their car. How many people in here, Jocelyn, go
Oh,
ahead.
I was gonna say, you said deficiency, no, you said
Depreciate.
depreciation, what?
Well, depreciation was on another, with another strategy,
Oh.
okay? I'm not gonna use, well,
No, you said instead
Oh,
of
no.
equity, you say something else now.
that's when it comes to building equity and trading faster, different concept.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'm just going to say, look, how many people in here have a life insurance policy? How many of you have a whole life insurance policy? Okay, so your life insurance policy is worth something even though you don't have to die to get money out of it, right? You build cash value in the life insurance policy every time you make a premium payment. The customer's building, true or false, the customer's building cash value in their vehicle every time they make a monthly payment.